This is the complete guide to the TOEFL test, lesson 4, purpose, method, and opinion questions. Some questions in a reading section ask why an author does something in a passage, a purpose. How an author does something in a passage, a method question. Or what an author thinks about something in a passage, an opinion question. A. Purpose questions. Purpose questions ask why the author of a passage or someone that the author quotes uses a certain piece of information in a passage. ETS call this kind of question a rhetorical purpose question. This kind of question really asks you about the development of the passage. In other words, it asks you why an author makes a point or why the author supports and strengthens a point in certain way. The question may ask you why the author mentions a specific piece of information, uses a certain example, refers to a study, uses a certain sequence or order of events, makes a comparison, quotes a person or a document, uses a particular word or phrase. Purpose questions may also ask you the importance of a sentence or paragraph to the passage, the importance of the sentence or the paragraph. Here are some examples of purpose questions. Why does the author mention blah 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 in paragraph blah blah blah? Why does the author give an example of blank? In paragraph blah 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 is given an example of blah blah blah. The author refers to blank to indicate that blah blah blah. The author quotes blank to show that the phrase blank in paragraph blank is used to illustrate the effect of. Why do scientists mention in paragraph blah 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 say that blah blah blah? Why does the author provide details about blah 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 in paragraph blah blah blah? The author gives statistics about blah 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 in paragraph blah 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 because blah blah blah. Why does the author first discuss blah 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 and then discuss blah blah blah, the sequence? The author's main purpose in paragraph purpose blah 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 is to blah blah blah. Here is a section of one of the passages in the reading preview test, an example of a purpose question about it. Read the question and the options first. Why does the author mention the Amazon River in paragraph 4? Remember to find the keywords. Amazon River in paragraph 4. Why? To give an example of the important physical barrier, to point out that many migrating birds fly across it, migrating birds, physical barrier, to provide an example of behavioral barrier, example of behavioral barrier, to describe a barrier that affects aquatic animals, Amazon River. Okay, let's read. For animal, some barriers are behavioral. The blue spotted salamander lives only on mountain slopes in the southern Appalachian highlands. Although these creatures could survive in the river valleys, they never venture there. Birds that fly long distances often remain in very limited areas. Kirkland's warblers are found only in few places in Michigan in the summer and fly to the Bahamas in winter. No physical barrier restricts the warblers to these two locations, yet they never spread beyond these boundaries. Okay, here it comes. Amazon River. Brazil's Amazon River serves as a northern or southern boundary for many species of birds. They could freely fly over the river, but they seldom do. Boundary for many species of birds. D might be D. The topic of this section of the passage is behavioral borders. The author first gives two examples of animals that are affected by behavioral barriers. Okay, blue spotted salamanders and the birds. The author then provides an example of behavioral boundary. So the third choice is the best. Oh my goodness. The third choice is the best. The Amazon is clearly a behavioral boundary, not a physical one. Because the author said the birds could freely fly over the river, but they seldom do. No physical barrier restricts, yet they never spread beyond these boundaries. Boundaries, right? Describe a barrier that affects the aquatic. I have no idea. What my monster seven knows suitable for many species of birds. To answer purpose questions correctly, you must think like the author. Imagine that you have written a passage. Why would you choose this? Why would you use this example word, statistics? Probably there will be three or four of these questions in reading section. Okay, C is the best answer to provide an example of behavioral barrier. No physical barriers. Restrict. They spread beyond these boundaries. Brazil serves as northern southern boundaries for many species. They could freely fly over the river, but they seldom do.